Welcome to this edition of Jawaab TV. I'm your host Zain Hyderwan. Today, me and my panel of experts will be delving into the big issue of women's rights. We'll be exploring women's rights within the British Pakistani community, but also focusing on the issue of women within modern-day Pakistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You know, if you look at deeply, it is the male chauvinism that they want to control. Although if you look at Islam, Islam is the religion which have condemned. Before Islam, the Arabs used to kill their daughters, and Islam came and said, no, if anybody have a daughter, he is the blessing of the God, and Rasulullah of course, in that context.
One of my distant aunties in Pakistan is a brigadier. She's not a soldier, she's not a captain, she's not a colonel, she's a brigadier. That's one rank away from general, as you know. Didn't a Pakistani woman win an Oscar a few years ago?
36% of females are educated within Pakistan as opposed to the 67% of males.
Where did you get that statistic from?
The statistic is published online on the Education Crisis of Pakistan, which is published by the
And
government of Pakistan, which is more biased towards favouring Pakistan, because it's been published by the Pakistani government.
But listen to the name of it, Education Crisis.
That's because Article 16A in the Pakistani Constitution outlines that this is an educational right.
But if you look at the good that's been happening, I mean, you know, it's far too easy for you to come up and put, okay, this negative article, I know, I'm doing a debate, let me find this negative about Pakistan, let me find this. But for every negative, there's a positive. I'm sure if you've done your research, you'd have found something positive.
The question was, why is it a threat? As what's a threat for Pakistan to see an educated woman?
I don't think it's actually a threat to Pakistan. It's a threat to men.
Okay.
Okay. Saying that with your statistics, I mean, we've done the background research as well. If you're looking at villages, there are probably less women girls that go to school and everything. But just looking at Lahore itself, okay, there's about 46 colleges in Lahore. Out of those 46, 26 are just for girls. Compared to the 20 that are actually remaining, those are co-education as well. So there is only a minority that are boys. So they are, the government itself and Pakistan itself is actually doing a lot for educating the girls. But I think the risk actually lies with families or the men sector, because what they will say is if she's going to study, she's going to leave the house, and and that's it comes back to honor and stuff. They don't want the girls to progress because they'll be leaving the house, and
that's not true of every family. Maybe our family.
No, it's a minority again, and that's we're looking more into the villages and not developed cities.
I'm from a village, and we've got a lady brigadier. We've got a female brigadier. We've got health workers. We've got teachers. I think what's happened is far too easy. It does happen, like I said previously. It's far too easy to find something negative, and I know, let's just sensationalize it and just forget all the good that's happening, forget all the female colonels and majors.
We have that, and I would agree, it's a minority. 20%, 21% of the labour force is made up of females. So once they've got their education, they're not actually going into the labour force. So what are the barriers? Zubair, what do you think are the barriers for females to actually go out and work within Pakistan?
Qualifications is one. The job aspects that they have. For example, you do get that thing, like for example, I'm a student nurse, so you get that thing that women only tend to go in certain kind of job aspects. For example, nursing and maybe places in the army in Pakistan. But they don't, like for example, you don't see Pakistani women engineers and in different aspects like that.
Makhdoom, I want to get you in on this issue. Do you think sexual harassment has a big issue, is a big obstacle for women actually joining the labour force in Pakistan?
It's probably not the biggest one, but it's one of the big ones, obviously. And I think we all are talking about on a wider range of these issues. And I want to touch the smallest there, because if we don't touch the grassroots issues initially, then I think on the top we may not be able to give the solutions to the problems. And I would like to touch a big issue in Pakistan environment there, which is a feudalism basically. Due to the feudalism, women are on various grounds, are forced to do something or not to do something without their own willingness. And I think what we should do here now is to raise the awareness, basically, of important role of a woman in the society.
We are being told to mirror values, traditions, customs which are not ours. So we get these standards imported from the Western world. So you may get Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie coming in and looking at villages and think, oh, look at these poor people, look at the rights, she can't do this, she can't do that. The worlds are, so the two countries are worlds apart in terms of the vision what, let's say, American or British people want from their women and the vision that we as Muslims and Pakistanis want from women in our society. The roles are different, completely different. The outlooks about life in terms of their roles and responsibilities are completely different. What you're getting then is from the media point of view, is a very militant form of secularization of Pakistan, where the only people that you get at the front are those who actively look at Islam even in a negative way, and they start questioning, you know what, it's actually Islam in the villages or Islam in certain places. That's the barrier to our progress. So the definition of progress of women is something which doesn't come from our own thinking. Like the brother rightly said, it's imported from outside of there, and that's where there's a tussle going on continuously in Pakistan.